What's up, everybody? Dan here from Headwaters Kayak, and behind me I've got a brand new boat from Lifetime Kayaks. They sent it out to me to review. Typically I thought of Lifetime as sort of like a basic entry-level price point kayak, but this kayak's not cheap. It comes in at $6.99, but it's also not like other kayaks. Behold the Manta Ray 100. Let's check it out. So immediately when they sent over the sales sheet, I was interested just because of how unique this kayak looks with its, you see where we get the name Manta Ray there. But big, wide platform, huge standing deck, room on either side of the seat. Big, luxurious tank well. Pontoon hull with built-in wheels in the keel. Anyway, I just thought it was unique, something different from Lifetime, so I said, yeah, go ahead and send it out. Now, I will say that Lifetime is great at that $300, $400 price point, but I'm concerned at a $700 kayak from them because they're not known for the most attention to detail or quality pieces and parts to their boat. But I'm not going to write that off before I check it out. We're going to go over it bow to stern. We're going to take it on the water, go give it a paddle, see what it's about. And first, let's talk a little bit about stats. This kayak comes in at 10 foot long. It comes in at 68 pounds, or at least that's what the website says. The paperwork on the boat says 10 foot, 38 inches by 79 pounds. It does agree that it's a 350 pound capacity. So whether that's 68 pounds without the seat, 70 with the seat, not 100% sure. But I have lifted it in and out of my truck a few times and onto the stands. And I will say it's not a light kayak to handle solo. I definitely been taking advantage of the caster wheels in the back for moving it around. That is a really nice touch. And 350 pound capacity on a 10-foot boat is pretty rare. You don't see that too often. So definitely a lot of capacity for a short boat. And a lot of you have asked me in the comments of other videos, what do you recommend? I want something short, but I'm, 300 pounds. So maybe this is going to be a good option for you. Going bow to stern here, let's take a look at the front carry handle. A lot of these pieces and parts are just riveted in to the boat, but it's got a handle that turns with the boat. I kind of like that. Definitely an easy place to grab it and wheel it around. Up front, you see it's got a little dry hatch. This is the same as what they have on the Tamarack. It's got a little bucket in there, and then if you take the bucket out, pop that bucket out, you have access to the inside of the hull if you wanted to put a dry bag down inside of there. We've got a couple of accessory tracks. If I wanted to add a GoPro mount, which I might do later when I'm filming, could add those there. You also have two additional mounts right here. So if you wanted to add rod holders, fish finder, whatever you need could go right on there. You also have a couple of flush mount rod holders up in the front if you wanted to troll, or if you're just, retying something, you could put your rod in here, retie. Big open standing platform, which we talked about earlier. Padded standing area. Adjustable foot pedals. They work pretty decent. They move, and when you lock them in place, they actually stay pretty solid. For inexpensive foot pedals, it's actually a pretty cool, clean little adjustment system. Same frame chair that we've seen on a few of their other models, I think the Teton, etc. It clips in place and just pops right out. I think I've mentioned it before in other videos, the clips do feel a little bit cheesy, but I've yet to break one, and I know that they're pretty good about replacement parts if you are to break one. It has a couple of hooks here on the back of the seat. I just take those and attach them to the bungee. I'm really not sure where else they're supposed to go. It's probably just a universal part that they have on there. You got 4 rod holders behind the seat, which is really cool. Rod holders have a little bit of an angle to them. So these ones angle out, these ones angle back, which is kind of cool. Over here, you'll notice I have the little trolling motor mount set up. It comes with this mount. I don't have it permanently attached, but it's basically a transom mount that mounts right on the side, and little electric trolling motors that are 360 can mount right on there. You see it has a spot right here labeled battery, which is basically just a little rectangle flat spot. But you could easily motorize this boat, which I think a lot of people would be doing, because a 10-foot boat like this with a high carrying capacity would be an easy one to motorize. Nice solid carry handle in the back as well. Seems like that's really well done. It's bolted through the boat. Just a cross pattern bungee in the back that you could set up if you wanted to have room for, black pack or a crate. You could definitely have quite a bit of extra bungee there. What I'll probably use it for is throw a bath mat down there, let my dog ride with me while we go paddle it around. A little background on this boat is it comes in a couple different colors depending on where you buy it. The gray color one I have here is a lighter of the two. This one's available at Walmart. I saw it on walmart.com for $6.99. There's also a blue colored one that I saw at Tractor Supply, and that one is also $6.99. I've also seen it go in and out of sale this year and seen it down as low as $5.99 on the internet. But I think it's easy these days to sell a kayak on features and styling. I think it's a lot harder to make a boat that paddles well and feels right. So let's go get it on the water, see how it paddles, and I'll share my thoughts. The handle definitely makes an easy transport. Just grab it with one hand, and then the wheels on the back do the rest of the work. I wonder how those wheels will hold up. They look like they're just screwed into the bottom of the boat. And in doing some research, I saw some reviews online of people that got this and those wheels were already kicked off from shipping. Now, shipping can be rough on kayaks, so I don't know exactly what it would take to, you know, knock one of those wheels on, but they are just screwed into the bottom. But just a pretty basic wheel setup, a little caster. And then as far as how they're attached, you can see it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And it looks like they're just little screws that go right into the boat. I don't know, not the most stoutest looking thing. So for an 80-pound boat, that might get a lot of pressure put on it. I'm taking the Manta out to Mary Lake here in Redding, California, which is a popular lake for kayak fishing. It's not a very big spot. Super pretty though, and it's full of bass. I do my best to try to review kayaks in sort of their intended environment. And I think this is where this kayak would really shine. A neighborhood lake, it's a 5-mile-an-hour lake. You know, lake that's really accessible by kayak, whether you're paddling or if you're running a little trolling motor. So seems like the perfect place to give it a test. All right. First thing we'll do is get the foot pedals adjusted up. I'm 6'2", and it looks like I've got, I don't know, about 4 more clicks if I wanted to go longer, if I was a little bit taller. Now, if I'm being honest, I cannot remember if this thing came with a paddle or not. I've had this boat for about a month now, and the first thing I do is get the right paddle. I don't use the ones that come with it. I think it would come with the basic Lifetime paddle. If you're gonna spend $700 on a boat, get yourself a halfway decent paddle. Something that fits. And this boat's not narrow, it's 38 inches wide, so it's got a big, wide, stable platform. So you need a long paddle to paddle around it. This one is 240 to 255. I actually have it extended out to the 255 mark. It's a gorgeous night out here. I guess the first thing I notice is just how stable this boat feels. It's a pontoon boat. Primary, 100%. Such huge primary. Also feels like it has a ton of room. Like I'm sitting up a little bit. It's got a fairly high seating position. Tons of leg room. Track's great too, just goes straight. I like that. And the stability, like I'm 220 pounds, I can't even get this thing to edge. I can't even get it hardly to move side to side. So stable that I forgot my life jacket. What an idiot. Talk about a rookie mistake there. I haven't done that in a while. Just taken off and completely forgotten my life jacket. Ooh. Even on a flat pond like this, it's just calm and warm and close to shore. I just always have a life jacket. For me, it's like wearing a seatbelt in a car. For one, it's a law. If somebody were to come over here, a fishing game pulled up, you know, it'd be a silly way to get a ticket. But two, especially as a representative for paddle sports and doing it online, people need to see in a life jacket, because just because it's 100 degrees here and the water's 80, doesn't mean somebody won't watch this somewhere where the water's 50 and put themselves in harm's way because of something they see on YouTube or something they watch me do thinking I'm the expert. So better safe than sorry. So as I pick up the pace here and try to give this kayak a little bit of speed, you can feel it tap out pretty soon. You can hear maybe you can hear the pontoon sucking water. It's just creating suction, creating drag. It's not a fast boat by any stretch, but it's really, really stable. And I could see if I had that little motor setup right here, where I could just brrr and be fishing. What a cool little platform. It's that small portability, maneuverability of a kayak. That propulsion of a little electric motor would make this thing a lot of fun for fishing. The other thing I'm excited for about this boat is the fact that it fits a little bit bigger paddler. At 220 pounds, I feel like I'm on the small side of it, and I feel like if I was, you know, a 300-pound guy that was all shoulders, I think I could still get on this boat and feel comfortable and feel stable. So all you guys have been asking in the comments, you know, what would you recommend for someone 260 and up? I think this would be a great option. I will say though, with the $699 price point, you do get competitive with other boats out there. Boats like the Three Waters Big Fish 105 come to mind, which have like a 400-pound capacity and are huge and stable, but probably a little nicer made, a little better materials. Or the Feel Free Moken 10. So you know, it's in that competitive range with other boats that are really, really stable. I would say the only gripe I have is like the little things like this, where the bungee just gets drilled straight down into the boat. You know, if water comes over the side, that's going in those holes. Or these guys here, which are just simply screwed into the boat, or these, which are just screwed right into the plastic. Yeah, higher end kayaks would use either like a threaded insert or a bolt that goes all the way through with a nut and a washer to create a watertight seal. With something screwed right into the boat, even if it just goes into a lag, it's just, you're not going to have the same longevity. So, you know, you kind of get what you pay for, like always. And at $699, it's not the least expensive boat you'll ever find. Maybe $499 or $599, I think would be a better value. One thing I do really enjoy is just the openness of that cockpit. It's huge. I've got a little stand-up assist leash here. Haul myself right up. You can see I've got a pretty decent sized standing platform. Nice big tank well if I wanted to bring a pack with me, or if I was going to bring a battery, tackle box. I also have room on either side of my seat. So if I wanted to have things to have access to throughout the day, I actually have room under my seat or right here along the side. I can even mount some stuff here if I wanted to add another track with a cup holder. Could do something like that. A very roomy, very open little boat. Now, one thing I haven't done in a while is giving you guys a proper stability test. I think it's always fun to do with these fishing kayaks, is give it a proper stability test. And this is a kayak I think I could definitely walk all around. In fact, I think you could even like take the seat off this if you wanted to like run a cooler, if you're gonna do a trolling motor. Walkway in the back. I mean, it's so stable. That's crazy. That pontoon style hull design and that like manta ray front end like adds so much stability forward and backwards too. So even if I moved to the front of the boat, I didn't really feel like I was losing that stability. Sometimes when you stand up, you feel like you're gonna get on the nose of the boat and it gets a little bit more unstable. Not with this one. I feel like I can stand up on the standing platform and I can move like all around, forward and backwards, and it still feels really stable. I like the high back seat on here. You see on my PFD I'm wearing a high back that kind of supports that too, so my padding's up and out of the way. But really supportive, easy to adjust on the fly. It actually has a good contour underneath my legs. There's like a thruster underneath my thigh brace here, as well as some pretty decent lumbar support. So for a budget kayak, I definitely give the seat 2 thumbs up. Beautiful little spot. So overall, I think this is a great boat for the money. I think if you were gonna spend $600 and buy yourself an entry-level, super stable fishing kayak that you can eventually motorize, I think you'd be really happy with this one. My caveats to that is I do think there's some other boats on the market that are well worth looking at that are in the same budget that maybe offer a little bit more value for your dollar. But I think if you had a Walmart or a Tractor Supply in town and I had one of these, I don't think you'd regret it. Now, who is this boat right for? I think this boat is perfect for somebody who's looking for a budget fishing kayak that doesn't want to spend the money on something like an Old Town or a Wilderness or something like real high end. This is a great place to start, something that's going to be really stable. If you're a bigger guy and you're looking at that, you know, Lifetime World or the Walmart kayaks, I think this is an awesome kayak for you to get started in. I think you're going to feel stable. And if you're the kind of person that wants to bring stuff with you and wants the ability to turn around and access your gear, this is going to be a great kayak for that as well, because it is so stable and so forgiving. Who is it not right for? Somebody that's wanting to cover ground, or somebody that wants an open water fishing kayak. This one's going to limit your ability to cover miles just because of the speed, or if the waves pick up. You know, you would think you want a big wide kayak, but that actually is going to get lofted around and be a lot harder to paddle and move from point A to point B than something a little narrower and sleeker. Also, if you're on the smaller side of things, like say you're a 135-pound kid, all these features might look really cool, but you don't need all the stuff. You definitely don't need all the stability, and you don't need to work this hard. You can get kayaks like a Lifetime Tamarack Angler, or Dick's has a similar style of kayak with this chair in it, but it's a little narrower. The narrower kayak's gonna move and cut through the water a lot better. And even though it has a lower capacity, you know, 275, if you're at 135 pounds, you'll still be able to, you know, stand up in it, move around. You're gonna have no problem at all in the little bit narrower kayak. Or if you just simply want to motorize something, you want a simple motorized setup that's just 3 screws, that bracket mounts right on here. You could throw your battery in the back and the motor on the side, and for a couple $100 you could have a little electric motored kayak. And I could see a lot of people doing that. Somebody that lives on a lake or has a pond nearby that they can just wheel this thing over to. That would be a clean little setup. So thanks so much for hanging out and checking out the Lifetime Manta with me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the boat. Do you think it's worth it at $699? Have you paddled this boat? I always love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot those to me. I'll do my best to get on them and answer it. Otherwise, have a nice paddle, you guys. We'll see you on the next one.